Welcome to our morning show on WRCO Radio. Today, I think it's Old Friends Week. We're bringing back some
Sure.
familiar voices to WRCO on the morning show. Joining us is David Scribbins, Moving Out Board of Directors President. How long has it been, David?
Oh, it's been a few years since we've been on. Glad to be back. It's been a while.
Awesome to have you. We go back a long time, back in the Star Spangled Celebration days when you were backstage.
Yep, and we did some, fundraisers for the Arthritis Foundation came on, and so we've done quite a bit together over the years.
Yes, we have. Moving Out is something that I was really surprised that it's celebrating 30 years.
30 years.
And I was not really all that aware of it.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't, so that's why we're here. We'll kind of let everybody know what we're all about and see if you want to join our charge, and we got a lot of good stuff going on and coming up, so
okay,
glad to be here.
Well, tell us about it a little bit, maybe an overview of it.
Yeah, sure. Moving Out is a nonprofit organization that was, the Moving Out locomotion was started by a group of parents of adult children with disabilities who wanted independent housing and preferably home ownership of the home to ensure security and more a sense of independence. Planning started, I believe, in about 1992. By 1995, we were well established. Moving Out's mission is creating more inclusive, accessible, and affordable housing options for those with disabilities, veterans, and the general public within qualified counties in Wisconsin. We're all about integrating the communities within Wisconsin with viable housing. This year is our 30th anniversary, and we'd like to invite everyone to join us to celebrate this achievement that is well-deserved. It is only with these programs that enable homeowners like myself to maintain my safe, comfortable, and affordable housing. Without nonprofits like these, it would be impossible for me to maintain my safe, affordable house. This year we are having our Moving Out 30th Anniversary Gala fundraiser. You said you've never heard of Moving Out yourself.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, there's a lot of people that haven't, so that's kind of why we're here. But the gala, the fundraiser this year, we're reaching out to ask for everyone's support in sponsoring Moving Out's 30th anniversary gala. Moving Out Inc. is celebrating 30 years of advancing disability justice by co-creating safe, affordable, community-integrated homes throughout Wisconsin. With your support, Moving Out will have the foundation for the next 30 years. On October 17th, 2025, we will be joining together at Olbrich Botanical Gardens in Madison, Wisconsin for an evening of celebration and a recognition for all that we have accomplished in these past 30 years and for what is to continue the mission. Please join us today as a sponsor, if you are able to, of our 30th anniversary gala celebration. We have a sponsorship form that we can get to folks if they're more interested in it. You can check any of the boxes that are attached to indicate your sponsorship level. Complete the information and return your information to our CEO, Catherine, at movingout.org. If you have any other questions or comments, you can look us up on Facebook, or you can Google us, and the information the sites are very user-friendly, so you can do that. Or you can contact one of our housing counselors for more information. Any donation would be much appreciated. If you'd like to enter an alternate sponsorship level that is on the sheet, you can write it in. We're also looking for donations for tickets that we can give away to those on limited incomes that would like to join us. Tickets are available for the gala for October 17th, 2025 on Eventbrite. Each ticket is $130. The sponsorship form goes as follows. Moving Out is celebrating the 30 years of advancing disability justice by co-creating safe, affordable, community-integrated homes throughout Wisconsin. With your support, Moving Out will have the foundation for the next 30 years. On October 17th, 2025, we will join together for an evening of celebration and recognition for all that has been accomplished in these past 30 years and what is next to continue of the mission. Tickets to the Moving Out 30th Anniversary Gala will include admission to Gleam. After our event, guests are invited to explore the annual outdoor exhibit at Ulbrich Gardens featuring large-scale light installations by local, regional, and international artists, open until 10:30 p.m. Join us today as a sponsor of our 30th Anniversary Gala celebration. You can check the boxes below, like I said, and then send everything back to our CEO, who is Catherine Arbeck at movingout.org, and we can leave all this information with you. So if folks want to follow up and have any questions about it. The sponsorship levels are $30,000 is our Pearl sponsorship. That's the traditional 30th anniversary symbol. That level, you will receive 12 tickets, 4 of which will be for Moving Out clients. Prominent logo placement on event, promo, and program materials, including a 4-part social media blast. Opportunity for brief remarks during the event program. Category exclusivity. At our $15,000 diamond sponsor, you'll receive 6 event tickets, 2 of which will be for Moving Out clients. You also get logo placement on event, promo, and program materials, including a 2-part social media blast. Recognition at the event also. At the $10,000 platinum sponsorship level, you'll get acknowledgement and event materials, including a social media blast, recognition at the event. At the $5,000 gold sponsor, you will receive 2 tickets and recognition on materials at the event. And then the $2,500 silver sponsorship, you'll receive recognition on event materials at the event. So it's really a good organization that really helps out a lot of people. I think over the 30 years that we have been active, you're talking thousands of people that we've helped out with housing and getting into their safe, affordable housing, so they have home security.
Is it just housing, David, or do they help with repairs and ramps and things like that are needed?
Yeah. So there's let me get to my list here. Let's see. We also do the home rehab program. We have down payment assistance. We have first-time homebuyer education program. Our housing counselors are available for any questions or comments that you might have. They can help you go through your financials and see what you would be eligible for. Let's see. We also have different apartment locations in the states. So we manage we provide housing counseling, information referrals, down payment assistance, first-time homebuyer education, and home rehab forgivable grants. That means with the home rehab grants, after 5 years, as long as you own the property and you still live in it, then the grant is forgiven and you become eligible to reapply for the grant again. The grant amount varies depending on what we have for funding each year. It kind of has an ebb and flow with that. Additionally, Moving Out has developed and operate nearly 1,600 units of safe, affordable, inclusive rental housing across the state. We have been a staple of our communities for 30 years. Recent developments and families that have found housing as of the last annual report: 338 community integrated rental units reserved for individuals and families with disabilities, 229 new affordable rental units developed, 30 households received funding assistance to make accessibility modifications or repairs, 619 households received housing counseling, 25 households received funding assistance to purchase their first homes. Total of 1,241 families / households have been positively impacted by this organization within 2023. Some of our locations for our apartments and our rental units. We have the Andre Apartments, Winnebago Street, Madison, Glen Grove Apartments, Cottage Grove, Park Cedar Apartments in Madison, Elvinstead and Stoughton, Berkshire, Greendale and Greendale, Bradley Crossing, City Center at Deerfield, the Globe Apartments along the Rock River in Watertown, Heritage Senior Living in Middleton, Madison and Maine and Milwaukee, Meadow Ridge Apartments in Waukesha, Monroe Street Apartments in Waterloo, Penny Lane, Eastside Madison, Pioneer Ridge, Wisconsin Dells, the Royal Southside Madison, Ruxton Apartments in Platteville, and Economowoc School Apartments.
That's a lot to keep track of.
That is a mouthful. It is. But we have a really, really good team that really does great oversight with all the programming, and we really address everything as it comes in to make sure that everything keeps moving fluidly. So we're out there and available for our members of our community.
That's awesome. Well, David, you've done really well for yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about your history? You're back in the area. We knew you as a young guy here in Richland Center. Not that you're old or anything.
Yeah. My name is David Scribbins. I've been a Richland County resident going on 40 years now. Can you believe it's been that long? Time's flying. I think we just get so set in our patterns of what we're doing, it just kind of flies. Before that, I was born in Madison, where we lived on Emmett Street until moving to Richland County. I do have a major physical disability, and I'm in a wheelchair due to arthritis that started out as a strep infection that my body couldn't fight when I was 13 months old due to an autoimmune disorder, then went into full-blown arthritis affecting every bone and joint. I'm currently soon to be 44 years old, and luckily the arthritis has been in remission, non-active, since the year 2000 when I turned 18. But the damage has been done, but I'd never let it stop me. For the better part of my life, I have been a disability advocate, just speaking up when needed and leading the way on changes that can assist people with disabilities of all types in my community. Over the years, starting in about 2009, I was invited to join a local board here at the local ADRC, and I accepted. So since 2009, I've been on 20 plus boards, councils, and committees. Currently, I reside on 9 different boards, councils, and committees. I am the chairperson of the ADRC of Eagle Country 3-County Regional Governing Board, chairperson for the Richland County Aging ADRC Advisory Committee, vice chair for the Richland County Transportation Coordinating Committee. I am the Moving Out Board of Directors president, member of the Moving Out Finance Committee, Moving Out 811 board member, Moving Out Governance Committee member, Moving Out Ad Hoc 30th Anniversary Gala Planning Committee. And that's why I'm here today, is to highlight Moving Out and all the wonderful things that they do for all the people of our communities here in Wisconsin.
How did you first hear about Moving Out, David?
Yeah, I discovered Moving Out when I was on a mission to save my roof. I had purchased a home in December 29th, 2004. Within a year, of course, we did the inspections over the winter time, so everything was frozen. And when spring came along, all of a sudden, I had leaks all over my roof. I was out of funding, out of money. My credit cards were maxed because of purchasing my home and all the costs that were in between. 5 years into a leaky roof, progressively getting worse, I decided to stop at my local Aging and Disability Resource Center, where we located information on the nonprofit we're talking about today, Moving Out. Thanks to their home rehab grant, I was able to fix my roof and save my home from rotting out from water damage and any further damage. It was just enough to cover my roof entirely. Since then, it is forgivable. After 5 years, I became eligible for the next grant. Living in my house 20 years, I've utilized 3 grants now, total through Moving Out. reducing my bills and footprint to a minimum with upgrades to my home. It was during that time that I was contacted by somebody from moving out, and I was invited to join the board of directors, to which I accepted, and it has evolved from there. It's been nonstop ever since.
Yeah, it sounds like it. People are listening. There's some eligibility requirements, obviously, and things like that. Maybe you could go over that if someone is interested in trying to apply for some of these grants.
Sure, yeah. So some of the questions that come up will I'll pointed at the home repair program, and this kind of applies to quite a bit of the programming. The Dane County Minor Home Repair Program provides eligible homeowners with a $5,000 grant that can be used to repair the owner's home, and to improve accessibility for people with disabilities. People that are eligible for the program, household income must be at 80% of county median or less. A household must have a permanent disability. The home must be occupied by the owner as his or her primary residence. Payments must be current on the mortgage, property taxes, and homeowner's insurance. The household must not have received assistance through the provision of Dane County Repair Grant in the previous 3 years. Other geological or property type restrictions. Eligible homeowners must reside in one of the participating municipalities of the Dane County Consortium. The assessed value of the property being assisted must not exceed 95% of the area median purchase price. Single family home, one side of duplex or condominium. So it refers to the Dane County, but we do reserve, I think it's 11 or 12 counties in Wisconsin. Richland County is one of them, with the home rehab, the first-time home buyer education, the down payment assistance, and then the apartments are in the areas that I had mentioned. We are looking at other putting up new projects in the future, but a lot of those are in the works. We're not sure yet exactly, so I can't really speak on some of that stuff, but we'll have to stay tuned, because there's a lot that we're working on here for the future.
People certainly listening to this, it's a great opportunity, as you mentioned. Is that something that, like, let's say you get the grant, then you have to go out and seek a contractor to do it, or how
yeah, and I really like that part of the process, because I'm kind of a take charge type of person. So you work with the housing counselor, and then I contact the contractor and go through what we need and have them come do the walkthrough and check it all out, and then we submit, I think it's a minimum of 3 bids, and then it's evaluated from there to see what's all going to entail. The amount of the grant does ebb and flow a little bit depending on the funding that we have available. So I think in previous years I had received a little bit more than that $5,000, but then I think we're back down to the $5,000. So it all depends on the donations that come in and the funding that's available from year to year.
Certainly, as we know, construction materials are not cheap these days, are they?
No, they are not, and it's not getting any cheaper. So we definitely, the housing counselors are great, though. They'll work through the process and see what will be viable, and then we really try to do it so the projects can be paid for, and then there isn't out-of-pocket costs for the person applying, because we know how everybody's budgets are and how everything runs. So our housing counselors are great. They can answer the questions and walk through all that with the person when they're ready to go ahead and give them a call and sign up for services.
You're on 9 different boards. How do you find the time, David?
Well, I just kind of knock everything out one thing at a time, and just stick to my deadlines and try not to procrastinate too much. In between, I do try to get a little bit of sleep and have a little bit of personal time. So, but no, it's I've never I never thought growing up that I would ever be so involved with different boards, councils, and committees. Like I said, I just usually stopped in to visit my mother when she would work downtown and see how she was doing. And I got pulled in by the transportation coordinator and the director down there and asked if I wanted to join a board. And I think it was about 2009, and that's kind of where it all started. And 20 plus boards later and 15, 16 years later, and here we are. We're still rolling. So
I'm glad. I think that you probably feel like you can make a difference, and really, I mean, that's got to be satisfying, that knowing that you can help some people out, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's more along the lines of the lived experience. I've gone through it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been able to find these programs and successfully apply for them, utilize them, and now I can share the information with everybody else who may be struggling or looking for answers. So I feel that it's a calling more than it's been a objective of mine. I've been asked to do it. I've been called to do it. So I've answered the call.
You can ease a lot of fears, because I'm sure that a lot of people out there in a similar situation, they don't know where to turn.
Yeah, and especially if somebody is just dealing with a new diagnosis or transitioning with a new disability, there's so much unknown that if you can reach out to some programs like Moving Out and some other ones, and you can have your safe, affordable housing and that kind of security, it takes that weight off your mind. And then you can move on to other things that you can address, because like myself, I know that I've got my safe, affordable housing that I get to go home to, and I can have my meetings out of there. I can take care of my dogs. I can do whatever I need to, and that it's just one less thing that you have to worry about when you have housing choices.
David Scribbins, our guest on the morning show. We'll be back with more in a moment here on a Wednesday morning. David Scribbins from the Moving Out Board is with us here in the studio today, and great to learn about the event that is coming up and all that they do. They've been around for 30 years. So, David, maybe you could talk a little bit more about the event that you had touched on.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for October to get here, but I don't want the summer to be over yet. So
Amen.
We're working hard, getting ready for it. A lot of it's still in the planning phases yet, but some of the gala events will include videos and personal stories discussing 30 years of moving out accomplishments and goals moving forward. We have a musician that we have ready to come entertain us for a little bit. We have catering that will be provided by Buck and Honeys out of Madison. We will be giving out awards. We're still working on the awards and the recipients. We'll have drawing raffle prizes and possibly involving everyone in an interactive activity or two, to be determined. We're still in the planning phases of these events that will take place on that day. Then at the end, everybody is welcome to walk through or travel through the light display of Gleam and intermingle with the rest of the guests at Ulbrich Botanical Gardens in Madison. They are located at 3330 Atwood Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin, 53704. Should you have any questions from them or us, you can contact Moving Out, or you can contact Ulbrich Gardens. Their phone number is 608-246-4550. A big part of the Moving Out funding comes from federal programs such as CDBG, Home, and other grants. We also put together fundraising efforts, receive anonymous private donations, and we will utilize whatever else we can come up with to maintain available funding to serve our communities. All the donations go towards home ownership and housing counseling programs, rental housing programs, supporting services and housing development programs, home rehab forgivable grant program. Anyone can donate by signing up as a sponsor for our 30th anniversary party. If one of the sponsorship levels is not suitable, you may write one in. You can join us at the gala. Like I said, the tickets are $130 each. If one is not able to attend, you can purchase a ticket that will then be donated to some of our families. If donating outside of the gala, you can contact the CEO directly, to which you can be recognized, or stay anonymous if that is preferred. We'll also have other opportunities in the future, so stay tuned.
You can speak from experience. You've taken advantage. Maybe you could talk about some of the things you've accomplished. Being able to live alone, have your own house, and do things like that.
Yeah, I was moved out of my parents' house when I was 18, and then I rented a house for a couple of years, and my landlord decided they would like to sell the house, and I couldn't maintain that size of property, so I moved where I am now. The last 20 years, I've been in my current location. After having the leak starting, I found out about moving out then and utilized their home rehab forgivable grant for my roof. After 5 years then, it was forgiven and it fell off completely, so I was able to reapply then. You're re-eligible. The second time around, I had a water heater that was overheating and just about scalding my skin, so we were able to address that. The pressure tank was past its life, so we replaced that. I had some electrical in the basement that was outdated and not up to code, so we addressed that. We pulled up the well to do a well inspection and a cleaning, I guess you can call it, when they drop the tabs down and clean it out. And then the third grant that I was able to utilize, I think that was about 2 or 3 years ago now, my ramp was falling apart out my entry door. So we were able to replace the ramp to make sure that I have two entrances, 2 exits. And we also were able to add a heat pump because I was running 3 air conditioners to cool down my 1,000 square foot house, and it was just running the bill up through the roof. So when I got a new furnace, the furnace also came through a separate grant, but then we added the heat pump, which does heating and cooling. So during the wintertime, it shuts off the LP once we get down to about or above 35 degrees. It shuts the LP off, and then it runs off electric for heating and cooling. And then once the wintertime comes and it drops below 35 degrees, then the gas kicks on because it's more efficient. So it has minimized my bills and dropped it to a point where I never thought I'd get that low. I had electric heaters to start, and it was running my bill up $400 a month, especially during the winter. Now I average about $180 a month, and because of the cutting back on the LP, I have enough in my accountants that I should be good for a couple of years and not have to pay for gas. Okay. So not only is it securing the home and making it viable for us to keep and maintain, but it is also making it energy efficient and efficient enough to the point where it will reduce my footprint and my bills.
Lots of homes are not all one level, and for someone in a wheelchair, that's a real challenge. So that's the other thing, trying to find ways to maybe upgrade the house so you can get to everywhere.
Yeah, widening doors, making the bathrooms accessible, lowering countertops, making sinks more accessible. Emergency door ramps, accessibility to make sure you've got 2 ways in, 2 ways out for emergencies. There's a whole list of stuff that can be addressed. If anybody has any questions, like I said, they can contact our housing counselors. They are really good at what they do. They really care about what they do, so they really get into everybody's specific case. If you do have more in-depth questions and further information, contact one of our great housing counselors that are ready to help with this process. Moving out housing counselors prioritize each household's needs by prioritizing safety and understanding their concerns of the day-to-day obstacles and barriers that may present themselves. Our main office is at 902 Royster Oaks Drive, 105 Madison, Wisconsin, 53714. For more questions or inquiries, you can call them 608-251-4446, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To reach our moving out housing counselor, call 608-251-4446, extension 7, or toll free at 877-861-7655. 6746. If you need accommodations for hearing or speech impairment, dial 711 to connect to Telephone Relay Services TRS from any phone. TRS will then connect you to Moving Out at 608-251-4446.
And I would guess, David, if someone calls and maybe it's not going to work out, your people can direct them to a program that will work too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, definitely, it's not just a one-stop shop. We're an outlet for just information and sharing different programs that we've heard of that are available. Just like Moving Out, and like a lot of people have not heard about it, there are a lot of other grant programs and things available out there to help out with living situations or transitioning of services, managed care organizations that can help manage and put together a really good plan moving forward to really help take the pressure off of the member that is contacting us for help.
We appreciate you coming in here today and sharing your knowledge, and here's to good health and good success continue, David.
All right, it's good seeing you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Great to see you. David Scribbins joining us, Moving Out Board of Directors President, here on this portion of the morning show. Jackie Anderson is our guest on WRCO. We're talking about Feeding America and more appropriately, Feeding in Wisconsin here. Jackie, tell us about your program and what you'd like to talk about today.
Thanks so much. Feeding Wisconsin supports the 6 Feeding America food banks throughout the state, which means that we support them around policy and advocacy work, and we cover all 72 counties and 11 tribal nations. And in total, we support about 1,000 different food pantries throughout the state. And I'm hoping today we could talk a little bit about the federal cuts that we're going to see specifically around SNAP and food share and how that's going to impact our Wisconsin communities.
What do you anticipate? I mean, what have you heard in terms of cuts and what that could potentially be?
Yeah, so right now the Senate is looking at a proposed budget, and if it goes through, we look at in Wisconsin, there's about 700,000 people who receive SNAP, or in Wisconsin we call it food share benefits, per year. So that means about 2,700 children, about 100,000 seniors will all be impacted by these cuts. So not only will there be cuts to potentially impact their food share SNAP benefits, but it's also going to have an increase in what the state has to pay to be able to support those SNAP cuts. So never in our history have the states had to contribute to food share benefits, and for the first time ever, Wisconsin would have to contribute quite a bit. I mean, we're looking at about $313 million that Wisconsin would have to contribute every year to support those food share benefits. I want to be really clear that it's people who are working, it's people who have multiple jobs often, it's people who just can't make ends meet because we know that the cost of groceries is really high right now with all of that's happening with inflation. People who normally maybe would have to go to a food pantry once, now they're having to go 2 or 3 times a month. So that has been creating an economic impact on our food banks because they're seeing about a 30 to 45% increase in the number of people who are coming to their food banks and food pantries. And that's just, then they're also in a situation because we know the need is going up and the resources are just not going to be there as much.
Well, what do you suggest that we do as residents and members of the community?
Yeah, the biggest thing we can do right now is reach out to your legislative leaders. So, you can find their website online. You can go to Feeding Wisconsin. We can help you find out who your legislator is and call them and email them and tell them how your community is going to be impacted. I mean, if you look just at Rock County alone, if these SNAP cuts happen, you're going to lose about $47 million in the community, which means that farmers are going to be impacted, grocery stores are going to be impacted, retail stores are going to be impacted. So I think calling and letting them know that these cuts are unfair and it's going to impact your community is the most helpful thing right now.
SNAP benefits, can you explain those and how they work and who's eligible for those?
Yeah, so there's an income eligibility requirement. So if someone is, working a certain number of hours, making a certain amount of income, then they would be eligible for SNAP benefits. So again, it is there's a lot of red tape already with SNAP benefits, and unfortunately, another piece of this pie that's happening is eligibility requirements will also change. So, for example, the age is going to go up to 65. For you to be able to receive SNAP benefits, you have to prove that you're working up to the age of 65. Parents who have school-age children, they're also going to have to go through some additional red tape to receive the SNAP benefits. So once a person is eligible, they receive a card, basically, that they can use at grocery stores. And the beauty of SNAP benefits is you can use that at grocery stores and then use, a pantry, for example, as a way to, augment what you need to feed your family.
Yeah, so when you use that, it's for the essentials, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's food, and predominantly people choose proteins that are really expensive, or produce that you can't always get at pantries. So it's a way to really make sure that you get that balanced diet that everybody needs.
Well, it does affect the economy too, in terms of like farmers market vendors and people like that too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in many farmers markets throughout the state, you can use benefits to be able to, get those fresh fruits and vegetables that are available at farmers markets. And, farmers are another area that, based on what's happening with the federal government, they're also impacted. So, there are some funding cuts that recently happened that are called LFPA. So that's local food purchasing program that directly impacted farmers. So there was a certain amount of money that farmers received to be able to purchase seeds, to be able to purchase equipment. And unfortunately, that funding has also already been cut. So now those farmers are really having to struggle because they've already either, purchased things, and now they have to figure out a way to pay them back. So, it's not SNAP directly related, but it is another impact that our current administration has created.
Is there a website, a credible spot people can go to learn more about this, Jackie?
Yeah, so you can go to feedingwisconsin.org, and we keep updated on there. You also, if you're ever interested in SNAP benefits, you always can go to the DHS website. They keep it updated. If there's any kind of eligibility requirements that have changed or any policy changes, they also update everybody on that website.
Jackie, thanks for your time today, and good luck. Thanks for being on the air.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. Take care.